Hello and welcome to Odds on Europa League Matchday 3. After the Wild Champions League games, we are here with Daniele Fisichella to analyze 10 of the most interesting matches of the second best European football tournament. I'm Daniele and I'm honored to be hosting Odds on Europa League Matchday 3 together with our football and betting expert who has prepared to use some great tips and predictions. Please like this video, hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel to help us grow so we can keep delivering great content for you. Leave your comment below and let us know what are your predictions for this Europa League Matchday 3. So now, let's get on with the show. Hi Danny, how are you today?
Hi Daniel, I'm all right. So great games we saw in the Champions League, a lot of goals, a couple of surprises, but this Europa League, it's more exciting than ever because of course they changed the format, there are less teams, there is the Conference League as well, and some of very, very important games in this match day 3, some teams might almost already qualify, so we picked the best 10 games for you. There are more, of course, but we picked the best 10 to give you a bit of analysis and obviously the betting tips. So let's go.
Yes. We begin with Group A, Sparta Prague versus Lyon. Here we have Sparta currently second in the group. However, they have only scored 1 goal in 2 matches. In their domestic league, the Czech side has scored 21 goals, but it looks like the class of this tournament is much higher for them and they might be in trouble against a really dangerous Lyon side who have scored 5 and kept 2 clean sheets so far in Europa League. For me, it's a little surprising that the odds for Lyon are that high for the away win, but maybe I'm missing something. What do you think?
Well, I think Sparta Prague, they've been good against Rangers in the previous round. They beat them 1-0, and they did it without the main man, which is Lucas Yulis, the striker. He already scored 5 this season, so he was missing there. He might miss again this match, of course, to check the lineups. But, against Rangers, they had a lot of chances, led by Hojlek, the 19 years old. We saw him at the Euros as well. Minchev was really good. They are unbeaten in the last 6, and in the league, they also beat Slavia Prague, who last year were the top team in Czech Republic. So maybe there is a bit of a change of the guard in the Czech football. You don't know, maybe Sparta Prague might be the best in this season. But yes, of course, they face a strong opposition in Lyon, who started the season badly in League One, but now they are making ground. They beat Monaco 2-0 at the weekend. Important results, especially after the international break. A lot of international players coming back. And Paqueta for Lyon was so good, so influential, played the second half, but probably gonna start this one. You have to not forget, he's a new manager, Peter Bosch. They have to adapt to it. They are improving. Also, this is a team that's made a lot of late signings in the transfer market. People like Shaqiri, like Emerson Palmieri. Then they got Boateng on a free in the summer. So I think there is experience there. They just need to gel together. 6 points in the Europa League, so a win will probably see them through. They kept 2 clean sheets, but this for me is a tough trip for Lyon. I like the double chance. I like the 1x for Sparta Prague. As I said, they've been good recently at home. 1x, that pays 194.
So maybe they will finally find their scoring way and manage to surprise Lyon, who should be the favorite here. The second game of Group A is again quite interesting. Rangers versus Brondby. I think that many pundits were expecting Rangers to have at least a point by now, but they have lost both of their group games. So meanwhile, Brondby has snatched 1 point against Sparta Prague with very few goal opportunities. And in fact, both Rangers and Brondby have failed to find the back of the net and have conceded 3 goals. But somehow the bookies think Rangers are finally going to win this one. So what do you think here?
Well, because they play at home, they got a good European pedigree. Last year in the Europa League, they were good until they faced Slavia Prague. The issue with Rangers, and we know about it already, is the defensive issues. No, they concede quite a lot. In Scotland, they already conceded 7, which you might think is not a lot, but for Scotland, for the level of teams that they face, conceding 7 already, it is quite something. But they lost against Slavia Prague. They had a lot of absentees, so they should get most of the players back. What happened is that also the weekend where they drew against Hearts 1-1, they had chances, they didn't convert them. The same Gerrard said they need to be more ruthless in attack. So if they score their chances, if they take the chances, they're gonna go through in this group, I believe, and they're gonna win this one. Brondby, they are probably one of the most disappointing teams so far. They sit mid-table in the Danish league, and that's surprising because last year they won the championship in Denmark after I don't know how many years, probably 12 or 13. So it's a long time that they haven't won it. But they only won 2 of the last 8 games. They won at the weekend. They only kept 1 clean sheet in the last 8, and yet, as you said, they haven't scored in the competition. Ibrox is going to be rocking for this one. It's a big game for Rangers. They must win it. They can go far in this competition, I think. Again, if they become a little bit more ruthless, I'm not convinced by Brondby scoring away. Both to score? No. That doubles your odds, 2.
Great. I also think that they lack the firepower right now, and both teams to not score a goal. It seems like a reasonable bet here. We move on to Group B, where PSV hosts Monaco at the Philips Stadium in a match where they will try to keep the leads of the group. So far, the Dutch side has won 1 and drawn 1 in some very exciting matches with plenty of goals. PSV scores a lot, but also they're quite leaky on the back, so Monaco can very well exploit their weakness. Unfortunately, Monaco has not shown a lot of firepower so far in the Europa League, but nevertheless, they are a top-class team, and betting on the goal market might be the good idea here. What do you think?
I totally agree with you, because if we saw, for example, the game Ajax against Borussia Dortmund, we saw what the kind of pedigree Dutch team, or at least top Dutch team, have. They play on the front foot, score goals, they create chances. Now, PSV is inferior in terms of quality to Ajax. They score 10 goals less than them in the Dutch league, but they got the same style and the same idea of football. They commit a lot of players going forward. They won comfortably the weekend. They are exciting, Zahavi, Madueke, Gakpo, even Götze. If you put him there. So there is a lot of talent going there, a young talent as well. They lost 2 games domestically. Yes, because they commit a lot of play forward. They create a lot of chances. They only kept 2 clean sheets in the last 9 games. Whereas Monaco, they were defeated the weekend, as we said, by Lyon after 3 wins in a row. I think with Monaco, they were finding their stride again. They were finding the scoring opportunities, and they score more goals. At the weekend, they were missing Golovin. I think when they do miss the Russian, they struggle to create. Maybe they keep the ball a lot, but they don't create. Also, CDB, the right back, who's really important, was missing that one. Look, with Monaco, I think overall, they were really unlucky to go out of the Champions League knockout against Shakhtar, because I remember in the second leg, they had a load of chances. Shakhtar scored by a lucky own goal. Perhaps they should have been in the Champions League. The question with Monaco is, so far, they always lost the big games. They lost with Shakhtar, they lost with Marseille, they lost with Lyon. So are they up there this season? Well, last season they were, so there is no reason not to think they cannot go to Eindhoven and nick a goal. But yes, the over 2.5 market is really interesting, because that pays 191, and that seems to me a very high odds for 2 high-scoring teams.
Yes, exactly. And even maybe a home win is not that bad, 235, but as you suggested, that might be not so easy to achieve, and the goals market looks much better. The other game of the group is Sturm Graz versus Real Sociedad. The worst team in Group B, Sturm Graz, looks like they have nothing left to fight for, and it's very slim chances that they will actually go after the group stage, because they lost to PSV and Monaco, and Once again, the bookies expect them to drop points here. Their guests, Real Sociedad, have managed to draw 2 times against Monaco and PSV, exactly the same team who defeated their opponent, and will be keen to finally grab their first 3 points. The odds for Real Sociedad actually suggest that it's quite possible.
This is a very tough group because, Real Sociedad at the moment, it's top of the league in Spain. So, the team that's going to finish third and go to the Conference League is going to be a top team. One between PSV, Monaco, and Real Sociedad for sure. Okay, so Real Sociedad are top of the league because Real Madrid has played one less game, of course. But there is a lot of enthusiasm in Donostia, the city of Real Sociedad. They were not spectacular against Getafe. They won 1-0 at the last minute. Okay, they were playing with 10 men and they were without Oyarzabal, the Spanish forward. But, a lot of enthusiasm. This is a team, let's not forget, that 18 months ago, they won La Copa del Rey, finally a trophy after so many years. So there is a sense that something is happening, and this is a good generation of football players. Also because a lot of them are very young. They've gone through the ranks, through the youth teams, and there are a lot of players that are homegrown. So from the region of Donostia. So it's really, really important, that kind of, sense of belonging, sense of enthusiasm. They don't score many goals. They only score 12 goals in La Liga. They've done a little bit better in terms of ratio in the Europa League, but is a team that, as I said, plays with a lot of belief, and they can go out and nick a win. I think they are due a win in this competition. Sturm Graz, another disappointment of this season so far, already 8 points behind Salzburg in the Austrian League. Domestically, they're doing okay. That's because Salzburg are so dominating at home, so they are second, but maybe the Europa League is a big step for them so far. They conceded quite a lot of goals. So look, I think the Real Sociedad win doesn't pay too much, so you might want to pass that one, or if you want to be adventurous, go for an Asian handicap -1 for the Spanish, and that pays 199.
Great tips. Moving on to Group C, we have Napoli against Legia Warsaw, and so far Napoli has been underperforming, really, considering that they're the top of Serie A. Things are just not flying in for them in Europa League. Despite the very low odds for Luciano Spalletti's man, maybe they're not going to put too much effort in this tournament, which will probably allow Legia to upset them here at huge odds at over 20. I'm not so convinced, but the Polish team are the current leaders and will definitely be keen to keep their good run after surprising the pundits with the 1-0 against Leicester. So
well, with Napoli, we have to say these are the only teams in the top 5 leagues in Europe that have won all the games domestically. So 24 points out of 24. They won at the weekend 1-0 against Torino, struggling a little bit. It wasn't easy to find the net, and Torino had some chances. And in the Europa League against Leicester, they dominated. It was 2-2, but they had the ball most of the time. They created a lot of chances. And yes, okay, against Spartak Moscow, they lost, but it was also because of a stupid sending off from Mario Rui in the first half. So they were down to 10 men. The tactics went out of the window a lot. I think what happens is that with Napoli playing every 3 days, it could be a bit tough. It's a team that hasn't really been strengthened in the summer, but what they got, apart from Zambo Anguissa, what they got is that new manager, Spalletti, that is coaching them so well. They are so well drilled. They all know what to do. And they got that kind of belief and determination that, yes, I think makes them, at the moment, the favorites in Italy to win the title. Now, when it comes to Europe, it could be a little bit different because, okay, they need to rotate the team, and even a small mistakes in this competition, in this group, can cost you the qualifiers. But they've only lost 1 game, that game against Spartak Moscow at home, since December. See how much Spalletti changes the squad, because on Sunday they need to go to Rome to play Roma. That's a difficult game. So okay, obviously they want to keep the 100% record. When it comes to Legia Warsaw, in the previous video I saw to Edu, I think Legia is going to cause an upset to Leicester, because they got the mentality of champions. They've been winning the Polish league for many, many years. This year they are doing poorly. They are 15 in the table in Poland. That's a shock. They lost 6 games, but this is the same group that has won time and time again, especially when they play at home in Europe. They are dangerous. And also, so far in this campaign, including the qualifiers, have not lost in Europe. So be careful, Napoli, with this one. It could be an intense game, a high-scoring game. I like the both to score odds, 235.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't put in Asian handicap for Napoli here because, as you said, maybe they will rest some key players before they travel into Rome next weekend. And in Group D, we have Eintracht versus Olympiacos. The best teams in Group D will face each other in a direct battle for the top spot. Eintracht is currently second with 4 points, while the Greek team are leading the group with 6. Despite Eintracht being the bookies' favorite, I think that both teams are capable of winning and expect a very interesting clash at Deutsche Bank Park. What do you think here?
Well, of course, I'm sure Eintracht is capable of winning. This is the team that 2 weeks ago have beat Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich was 30 games unbeaten, plays Eintracht at home. They lost. It was a massive game for Eintracht, massive game for their keeper, Kevin Trapp. What a game he did. But then, after the international break, Eintracht host Hertha Berlin and they lose. So, a very difficult season for them. But I think Eintracht Frankfurt is a team that in the summer has gone through a lot of changes and few players didn't know if they were staying, if they were leaving. For example, Filip Kostic was about to join Lazio. In the end, he stayed, wasn't really happy, but now he seems more focused. If Kostic and Trapp, the keeper, are in form, I think they got a platform to work with, and they got really two really good players, and they can build the team also around him. Look, I think last year Eintracht started the season really poorly with Hutter. Now they got a new manager, Glasner, but they recover from the poor start. So better things have to come. They have to be ambitious. They have to think, we can win this game, we can win the group, and progress. And also, so far the season has been disappointing. Yes, they have not won 2 games in a row. They need to bounce back, and they can bounce back, I think, because they got the quality. Olympiacos, on the other hand, they are in good form, top of the league in Greece. They are unbeaten. At the weekend, they gave a little bit of rest to key players like El Arabi, who's been scoring a few goals. They kept a couple of clean sheets so far. Again, this is a team similar to Monaco. They probably thought we should be in the Champions League. We let a very good chance go because they lost 2 penalties to Ludogorets, and Ludogorets is in the Europa League with them. And then Ludogorets lost to Malmo, and Malmo is not doing even that great in the Champions League. So it is a team that probably for the type of players they have, they thought they were going to be much higher than that. But I think Eintracht to win, the odds are very good, are really, really, really appealing. 193, almost doubles your odds, for a team that has beaten Bayern Munich. Let's go for it. Eintracht to win, 193.
Good. I completely agree with you. Eintracht, I'm not showing consistency, but maybe they will win this clash here. And in Group E, Lazio versus Marseille. Once again, we have Lazio looking for their second win after grabbing the 3 points against Lokomotiv Moscow last time. This is their second consecutive home match in the Europa League, and I think they will try to leverage their home turf as much as they can. Meanwhile, Marseille looks a bit lost and unable to win or score goals despite being third with 2 points so far. A win here for either side can actually prove crucial for the next stage after the groups. So what should we expect?
Goals. Sarri versus Sampaoli. 2 managers that set their teams to play on the attack. They want to press high. Sometimes they make mistakes at the back, but they go for it. Marseille, second best attack in Ligue 1. Lazio, third best attack in Serie A. So obviously the goals market is really appealing, and Lazio, they seem to be perhaps not yet a Sarri team in the way they keep possession and they play, but they're very determined, they're very sturdy. They reverted back to perhaps the tactics that Inzaghi was using, and it is working because they've been at least winning the big matches so far. They beat Roma, they beat Inter at the weekend. Perhaps they surrendered the possession to Inter too much for 60 minutes, but they were hard working. They stuck in, they kept in the game for as much as they could, and then they knew the chances were going to come. And I think to tell you what kind of team Lazio are at the moment is the fact that Basic, the young Croatian, is playing in midfielder instead of Luis Alberto, the really talented and mercurial player. So probably Sarri at the moment was a little bit of talent, less talent, let's say, and more hard working, more grit in that midfield. So let's see what they do. And also let's see how deep is Sarri's squad, because now he'll have to make changes. And we saw also last year when Lazio made changes, the reserves were not quite at the same level as the starters. Marseille, we said, very good attack, but one of the worst defense of the top of Ligue 1. They are third in the league with a game in hand, so they are at least targeting a Champions League spot for this season. The problem with Marseille is maybe they don't finalize too much. Sometimes, this could be also a problem with Sampaoli's way of playing. They kept the ball a lot. They don't find the net as much. For example, against Lille, they should have scored more. They're always entertainment though. So Lazio, Marseille, over 2.5 goals. Again, very high odds, 1.94.
Plain and simple, expect a lot of goals. And move on to Group F, where Ludogorets will have to face Braga in a very tough game. Ludogorets are winless in their first 2 matches so far, and after the decent performance against Midtjylland, they lost at home against Red Star Belgrade, and now need to improve if they want to actually continue their participation beyond the group stage. However, Braga is a very tough opponent and are certainly capable of going home with the win. The odds are in favor of the Portuguese team. So is their performance so far. Maybe a clean win? What do you reckon here?
This is a tough one to call because the Braga travel well in Europe. They won 4 of the last 6 Europa League away games, but also a bit like Eintracht, we said before, they have not won 2 games in a row. Carlos Carvajal team, they are 6th in the league. They're pretty much the same team as last year, so something is not clicking just yet. But in Europe, we know this team usually gets to the knockout stages of the Europa League. A few years ago, even went as far as the semi-finals, and now they go to Bulgaria, which it's a tough place to go. It's quite a long trip. Again, Ludogorets are quite ahead in their league. They're top of the league, but in Europe recently have lost each one of the last 5 home games. They only kept 2 clean sheets in the last 8 games overall. Again, they did well against Olympiacos to come through on a penalty shootouts, but then they lost away to Malmo when they thought they were going to be the favorites. Look, for this one, it's a tough one, but I think Braga got better quality, better players. They could nick it to 15. Braga win.
Since I am Bulgarian myself, I'll be rooting for Ludogorets, but you never know what will happen here.
I think you know more about Ludogorets than I do. Why are they struggling in Europe, you think?
I don't personally follow them so close. I just root for them because they're the only Bulgarian team in the European tournaments so far in the last years, especially. They're consistent, and I hope they can do something here, but you never know. Group G. Maybe one of the most anticipated games of Matchday 3 actually is Betis against Leverkusen.
Absolutely.
The current leaders in Group G will face each other in a direct battle that might decide the fate of the group. Both teams have 6 points so far and are scoring goals on top of goals. Also, the bookies can pick a clear favorite, but looking at their score sheet, I think we might be onto something here if our betting tip is on the goals market. What is your opinion?
Yeah, the goals market is the one I would go for because these are 2 exciting teams that create many chances. They score goals. Betis was very clinical against Ferencváros in the previous round. Dominated possession, had a few chances, scored 3. Against Celtic, great character. They were 2-0 behind. They end up winning 4-2. And if you look at the Betis in the last 9 games, they only lost against Real Madrid 1-0 at home, didn't deserve to lose one, and to Villarreal away 2-0. Again, 2 top teams that play in the Champions League. So they are quite there with the top Betis managed by Manuel Pellegrini. And Leverkusen, okay, defeated heavily at home by Bayern Munich at the weekend, lost 5-1. But you're not always going to play Bayern every single week. And let's not forget, it's a team that was third in the table. They done really well when they played away at Celtic. They've scored plenty of goals so far, 21 goals. And they got Florian Wirtz, very exciting player. He showed already his class, his talent. Schick, again, after the Euros, he's a new person. He's scoring a lot. So it is an exciting team as well to watch. They'll go toe-to-toe on this one. The goals market is good, but I think you could be also a bit conservative on this one. If you go for over 3 goals, that pays 210. So that means if the game finishes 2-1, 3-0, or 0-3, you have not lost your stakes because, again, they might make some changes in the lineups as well. So let's go for over 3 goals, 210, and hope they're going to be 4 goals.
Perfect. And if you guys want to learn more about Asian handicap market, you can go and check our videos on the Betting Academy. And the last game we chose for you is from Group H, West Ham versus Genk. The last match to analyze, we'll see the resting team of West Ham comfortably at the top of the group with 6 points, while their guests from Belgium have 3 points so far. The Hammers have kept 2 clean sheets, and the odds suggest that they should have a rather easy win, getting the 3 points here. However, betting on West Ham has very little value, and maybe we should look at an alternative market.
Yeah, the outright market is difficult, and it is risky as well, because they're going to face, I think, the most difficult team in this group, Genk. But, West Ham come on the back of a very good win at Everton. They were good in the first half, created chances, and they kept a clean sheet, which is not usual for them. It was only the 3rd clean sheet in the last 19 Premier League games. A win for West Ham, and they're going to be through to the knockout stages, which is important for the club and their ambitions. I think, at home, they've been okay so far this season. They lost 2. They lost against Man United, but they missed a penalty in the very last minute, so that could have been an equalizer. And they lost against Brentford. So that's why they are favorites. Let's see how many changes Moyes makes, and let's see, obviously, if Declan Rice play. He seems to be the most important player in this team. Declan Rice at the moment, he's developing a lot in a box-to-box midfield. He obviously plays for England as well, so he played in the other game of the Europa League and scored 2 already. So his presence is going to be very influential. Again, before putting the bet with these games, always check the lineouts, because midweek games, you never know. Genk, 3 defeats in a row, so not a great period. They lost 4 of the last 5. They are 6 in the league. They were eliminated by Shakhtar in the knockout preliminary rounds of the Champions League. So again, a bit of hit and miss. And so far in the Europa League, they struggled a bit because the win against Rapid Vienna came in stoppage time. But they got a couple of players, Ito, Japanese, and Onuachu, which could be dangerous. I saw them playing a few times, and especially when the winger crosses for, Onuachu, big lad, in the center of the box, it could create a few upsets, so they can be dangerous. So look, I'm gonna go for a risky one here. Both to score, yes or no, pays exactly the same, which is 2. So again, that tells you how finally balanced could be. I'm gonna go for both to score, yes, and obviously that pays 2.
Perfect. I think you've said everything that there should be said about those games, but it's time for your ACCA.
Okay, 5 games, Europa League ACCA. Let's see if we are lucky this time. Rangers to win, Real Sociedad to win, Napoli to win, Lazio, Marseille, both teams to score, and Braga to take the lead in Bulgaria. The total odds just short of 10, 9.31.
That's fantastic. And I certainly will keep my fingers crossed that you nail this ACCA finally.
I've done before, but in Europa League is more difficult. I'm okay with Serie A and national teams, but Europa League is tough. But well,
you've been close. You've been close recently, but always one game away.
Thank you, Daniel. See you soon.
I hope to see you again tomorrow.
Enjoy the games. Bye-bye.
We already have all games from the Europa League Matchday 3 analyzed and predicted by Danny, and you're now able to see them on your screen. If you enjoyed the show, please like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, go share with your friends, tell your neighbors about us, tell your cat, and do all those magic tricks that will keep you here in the loop, because we'll be back tomorrow with yet another great show. Make sure to watch the rest of our content on YouTube, as well as follow us on all social media channels. See you soon and stay on the right side of the money.